What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Saturday edition of Investing Bros. If you guys are excited for this Saturday show, go ahead and smash that like button. We've got a lot to break down today. It's going to be a fun, relaxed day. Definitely want to get your guys' engagement a lot, want to answer some questions. I want to have more room today to do some Q&A as well, but top story of the day, we're going to be breaking it down here in just a couple of minutes, is that the SEC still is looking like they have the potential to try to appeal that Grayscale Bitcoin ETF. Do you think that's going to happen? What would that mean for Bitcoin? That could be one of the leading signs, as our title suggests, that Bitcoin's October might not be a green one, but make sure you stick around for the whole thing. We're going to talk about that in the stories. We're going to talk about that in the TA. We got to check out some Chainlink a little bit. Ethereum has a very interesting story that even if it, I would expect if Bitcoin drops, Ethereum's going to drop in price as well. But there's something that is very interesting that's happening with Ethereum. We got some stories to cover, but some people to talk with. Let me know in chat right now how you are feeling this Saturday. Of course, at the very end, we might run through my college football predictions of the day, but I'm not trying to stay around too long. Virginia Tech plays right at noon, so I'll probably miss like the opening kickoff because we'll still be doing the show, but then gotta scram and go watch that game. Let me know in chat also who your favorite team is. I already know Elliot Locks. I know Matt C's, and I know Crypto Sec guys, but everybody else, let me know who is your favorite college football team. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. I am joined this morning by my fantastic co-host, who we had the new person in chat. Factoid Elf gave us a cool little factoid. T Shroom, how are you feeling today? And did you see our little factoid earlier in chat?
I did not see the factoid early in chat, but the elf has appeared, because if you say factoid, the elf, the elf's going to pop up. Little elfie. What was the factoid, Tim?
I guess you're going to have to scroll and look. No, I mean, it was directed at T Shroom. And it's funny because if you go back and scroll, I might have to change my answer now, because the answer had to do with something that, it's not looking too shiny this morning.
This is very elaborate. Okay, so someone has made an account called Factoid Elf. What is more shinier than T Shroom's head? A, the sun. B, freshly charged high-powered flashlight. Okay. C, LED headlights that are coming towards you on the highway. D, nothing. It indeed is the shiniest. So let me just say, I am deeply offended. I have never been so insulted in my life. My male pattern baldness is not something that I can change, and it's something that I'm deeply self-conscious about. I'm seeing a therapist 3 or 4 times a week to try to gain some kind of sense of stability in my life again. Just kidding. This is pretty hilarious. I'm going to go D. There is nothing more shiny. My head is the shiniest.
He already confirmed that was the correct answer. But again, there's some growth on there. I literally feel like one day you'll be bald and the next day like you have like a full beard and your hair's all back, and your hair doesn't take days off.
My testosterone levels are an enigma. I've had the Space Force scientific division approach me several times to try and do some studies.
Yeah.
But the reality is just, I've got the mysterious T. Got that mystery test. So there you go. It's all fun and games.
Another thing before we're going to jump in here, we're going to get our open going. We're not going to have a full market open, but we'll do a couple of the things that are still relevant for the weekends. But I've been doing a lot of thinking. Tishu and I were even talking about this a little bit before stream. So I put out on Twitter last night, listen, I've never bought an NFT in my life, anybody. And you guys know I've been kind of anti-NFTs. I'm not really an NFT guy whatsoever. But when I saw that fact that NFTs are down 95%, something just boiled up inside of me that's saying, is it time to go ahead and purchase my first NFT? So that's another thing. We might talk about this more later on in the show. But I want to hear from you guys, if I'm about to buy an NFT, who should I buy it from? And also, like, with the market being down there that much, would you guys like to see, not every single day, but maybe once a week or once every other week, we go into a little bit of detail about NFTs, maybe even bring in some special guests? Would you guys like to see us discuss that a little more frequently? I'm a little bit enticed. And I'm thinking about this, T-shirt. I kept thinking about it after we talked. What if this is a time for us to get into the NFT line? And yesterday, I think, sparked an amazing maybe little area for NFTs. What
Yeah.
if we start a new NFT line called Dumpster Cats?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, except the only thing is like yeah. I mean, there's a lot we could say. Do we want to have another couple minutes on NFTs?
And just so people know, I've already filed for copyright and everything. So if you guys go steal that information, I'm just kidding. If you guys steal it, good for you. It's going to be a winner. So if you do steal it, make money on it, and then let everyone know.
I'll tell you what.
I heard about investing in this.
I was telling Tim before the show, I was up till 1:30 last night doing research on this NFT project. It's technically an NFT project, but it's a mining company out of Dubai, Bitcoin mining, and you buy an NFT and that entitles you to a certain amount of return. It's like that is technically it's about $500 for one NFT, but it could in 3 years it could yield you like $11,000. So it's an interesting project. I'm not going to talk about it on here because it's a total shill. But it's interesting, and if it's that kind of an NFT, I think that's what I kind of think the NFT technology is for, in a lot of ways, is just to kind of prove identity in a sense, or prove ownership of something, of an investment.
Yeah.
So anyway, but all the art NFTs that I've got pulled up like right here, you can see Mutinate Yacht Club still big, Bored Ape Yacht Club, The Gods, Nakamigos, which is pretty cool. I think that's a Nakamoto game affiliated thing. They're not going away. It's just, could they go lower, right? I don't know if it's the bottom for them or for NFTs or what, but you're right, Tim. And this is, I think, a narrative that's not going away is like, is this time to buy some NFTs? And I do own a couple like ADA handles that were gifted to me and stuff like that, but I have not. And I do own a Vault NFT from the Cardano ecosystem Vault. Shout out to ADA Ace who hooked me up with that.
ADA Ace is the GOAT.
But it's like, through all of the many months that I've been involved in crypto, it's not. I haven't really caught the NFT bug, so to speak. I do have the ones behind me, but that's more to support the community here, support the bros and their NFT expeditions.
Yeah. Well, let's get in. Let's read some chat real quick. There's a couple chat here. Got to read some super chats, and then we're going to jump into our open. But the chat will continue. Army Piper giving us 2 different super chats. So thank you so much, Army Piper. First of all, he said his name is Trevor. He's a trivia troll. I think he's trying to oust old Factoid Elf. So good for you, Trevor. He also said, Tim, when are the new team shirts coming out? And I'm not going to go into details on those because I know exactly what Army Piper, I think, has been spending a little too much time with Eric Wallen and Crypto Set Guy and is trying to become his own secret agent of chaos. But thank you for the super chat so much, Army Piper. There was a chat here. Elliot Locke said, Tim, I was going to talk crap about VT, but they were playing Marshall, so they better win. If they lose, dude, it's going to be an open season on the trash talking. Just saying, you're not wrong, Elliot. We suck, and if we lose to Marshall, we still suck. And then someday we might be good again. He also gave a super chat saying, Tim, just look in T Shroom's background. You're saying okay, I inmates for sure. The Mona Lisa one's been up there for a while. I don't know much about it. And the platypuses are cool. That's pretty cool. Let's do it. Let's get into crypto though, guys. Thank you so much for the super chats, everybody. Thank you for the engagement. Let's get into some crypto and into our content. Very weird day. Bitcoin is not first in liquidations in the last 24 hours. It's not second, and it's not third. It comes in 4th place. And even Bitcoin only had $1.43 million liquidations, which means, guys, nobody made money yesterday trading. No one made money trading anything. The number one WLD, $1 million of longs were liquidated versus 8.91 thousand. So 891,000 shorts were liquidated. That's nothing. FLM coming in second place. Others, Bitcoin, $1.18 million of longs, 253,000. Yeah, it's because you never say thousand when you're talking about dollars of liquidations in Bitcoin. Nobody made money. Technically, a couple of bears made a couple of pennies, I guess is probably what you could amount this to.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of money made. Ethereum, the same. So nothing happening there. But here's a beginning of why I think Bitcoin might be going down, guys. That right there, 47 on Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. After yesterday, we were at 43. Now, the price hasn't changed one iota, maybe by a couple of dollars. Why did it jump from the fear at 43 up 4 points to 47 back into neutral? other than the market reevaluating where Bitcoin is at. And it's looking like that's a reason of a reset for a push to the downside. So not saying that alone. I just want you guys to keep that into account. When if I was just trying to do analysis on Bitcoin, looking at Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index and see this tick in point system, but know what the price did, that's a bearish look. Bearish look for Bitcoin. Let's keep moving on, though. Look at CoinMarketCap this morning. Technically, Bitcoin is down 0.3%, but again, it's exactly like where we left it yesterday. Take a quick look at the charts, even though it's not time for charts. Look at this. This is the 4-hour chart. This dip back here was back on the 21st. Today is the 23rd. So it's over in 2 days. We had a grand total of about 1% of volatility. The price is not doing anything right now. Nothing. And so not a very big deal that we're down 0.3%. Ethereum down 0.2% as well. Nothing big. Let's take a look. XRP down 0.3%. So they're right there, tit for tat, it looks like. Any big movers of any direction? I'm not seeing anything in the top 20. SHIB is up 2.81%. Good for SHIB. SHIB has a little bit of a move this morning. What else do we have? Chainlink. We are going to take a look at Chainlink TA. They had some news come out with a partnership with Arbitrum. We might even, I don't know if we're going to get into details of the article because I was looking through it. There's not a lot of them saying, hey guys, Chainlink now is working with Arbitrum. Arbitrum, by the way, another coin that's extremely down right now that could be an interesting buy. It's kind of a risky buy because there's no guarantee about it, but it's definitely down. But those are like the top big movers, the top 20. Let's take a look at the rest of the field. Theta up 5.59%. Chainlink, as we said, up 3%. SHIB up almost 3%. Hedera or HBAR up 1.73%. Let's take a look at the biggest losers. Immutable X, of course, Immutable X had an amazing run here the other day, but they're now down almost 6%. Terra had a good run yesterday, but it wiped that out. It's now down 4%. Render down 3%. ZIL down 2.81%. So there we go. Not a lot of big. Arbitrum, we were just speaking about them, down almost 2%, even though they just had that deal with Link. So it looks like that deal is a lot better for Chainlink than it is for Arbitrum. Let me know, though, in the comments what your guys' thoughts are about that situation. Next up, we do have our top story of the day, which will kind of take us into where we get into the TA. But this is why the title is the way it is today. There is a good chance that we could be seeing a red October, and it is because of one man. One man stands between Bitcoin and the Bitcoin bull market. T-Shroom, who is that man?
That man is Gary Gensler. And guys, this headline here is a little daunting. Why October is an important month for the crypto industry as key SEC decisions loom. So you've got this right here. There's a name in here you might recognize. The SEC is expected to decide whether or not to appeal the ruling in its case against the asset manager Grayscale, with the deadline for an appeal being October 13th, 45 days from the court's ruling. So they've got this deadline coming up that they can form up an appeal. And to be honest with you, I've heard absolutely nothing about that. I've heard zero rumblings. I've heard zero rumors. I did have a dream about it, but I didn't tell anybody. The fact that they haven't, mentioned this at all, there's been nothing that I've seen anywhere, is pretty interesting. And now we're seeing an article speculating that it could happen. Tim, how big would this be if the Grayscale, just that headline, Grayscale appealed versus Grayscale ruling overturned potentially by an appellate court?
I don't know if it's going to get overturned, but I do think an appeal is going to happen. And guess what the appeal will do? I don't think Gary thinks he's going to win this. In fact, the whole thing was that it was deemed by a judge that he has no reason to deny them whatsoever. An appeal is simply kicking the can down the road. Why does he want to kick the can down the road? And why specifically does he want to kick Grayscale's appeal or Grayscale's application down the road? Because we all know who's supposed to get the first ETF, and it's not Grayscale. It's BlackRock. BlackRock is going to have the first Bitcoin ETF over Gary Gensler's dead body. That's just how it's going to go. So while he knows he's going to lose, he knows that Grayscale has the first attempt. He knows that as it stands right now, when the approval happens, the first person getting paperwork or a phone call, I really don't know how that one works. The first people getting an approval in this moment should be Grayscale, and that's not what he wants. But if he appeals and he delays, but then he approves BlackRock's, that's not going to look good for him. It's going to make him look like a freaking idiot, but he doesn't care at this point. He just wants BlackRock to be first. That is my opinion. I want to go ahead and just clear that. This is definitely alleged, and it is an opinion, but I do believe it's a popular opinion. In fact, we should probably make a poll. Do you guys agree with that opinion? Let me even type this in from the Investing Bros. Does Gary want BlackRock ETF first? Let me know what you guys think. Vote on that poll. That's my opinion. I have a very strong opinion on it. I feel very strongly that the answer is yes, but I want to know what you guys think as well. To me, T-Shroom, there's really no other explanation. He's getting his butt kicked left and right, but he doesn't care about the taxpayer dollars. He's just going to keep going to court, keep delaying, because in the back pocket, I guarantee you he is getting money of some kind to do all this. And then he'll sail away on his happy little boat. He'll buy a nice little yacht and be happy for the rest of his life. Now, that's a good question back to the elf. Which is shinier? Is it T-Shroom's head or is it Gary Gensler's head? See, I don't know if the factoid elf took that into consideration.
It's tough. It's a tough one, Tim.
Yeah.
There's a good amount of shine right here. Sorry,
that's
guys.
A terrible photo of him. That actually, he had like little he had like a bunch of little wiry little stragglers right up there.
Here's a pretty suave picture of him, if I'm being honest, if I'm being real.
Oh my goodness.
This is probably one of the more attractive pictures of Gary Gensler that I've seen. And you do get a good amount of shine right there. You do get a good little render of shine.
Yeah.
And am I jealous? I don't know that I have to disclose that.
Yeah. No, I mean, as we wrap up this, we're about to jump into charts, guys. The real thing here, though, is why is this going to affect Bitcoin price? Because people they just hear news and then they get upset. And so when you see the news come out, when we see the headline that says SEC appeals Grayscale Bitcoin ETF, the populace, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh no, we thought ETFs were a sure thing. Is he appealing all of them? This is terrible. I need to sell my Bitcoin and get away from crypto because it's evil." And then Larry Fink and BlackRock are going to be smiling and just twiddling their thumbs while they wait for the price to dip below 25,000. And I think it's going to low 20,000, but they're going to be so excited to be scooping up some more discounted Bitcoin while the rest of the world freaks out. And there's a story, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. That's actually a great discussion. We're going to talk about after the TA, talking more about some monies that are belonging to Bitcoin right now. But we'll
belonging to Bitcoin.
Well, their Bitcoin monies belonging to people.
Yes.
That we'll speculate on a little bit later.
Yes.
Way to get the facts straight there. Thank you, T-Shroom. Thank you. Before we get into our good old TA, make sure you guys go and smash the like button. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Hit that subscribe button. T-Shroom, do we have a factoid?
We absolutely
have a factoid. Have a true question. There we go. All right, here's Elf. We already have a name for him, but that's coming at some point later. Maybe Factoid I think we have to have a vote in Discord. Well, he needs a name. Factoid Elf is his profession, but that's not his birth name.
Yes. Let's get to his factoid. What other blockchain did Charles Hoskinson found? Is it D, Sheeb, C, Cosmos, B, as your aunt from Wisconsin might say, Cosmos, B, Bitcoin, or A, Ethereum?
Yeah.
Timmy T.
Why? Out of curiosity, why did you read them backwards? Why did you start with D and work your way up?
I don't know. To be honest with you, yeah, that's the factoid elf was nibbling on my toes, and I had to make a decision. Yeah, no. Here's the thing, factoid elf, and I'm not talking about the one in chat. I'm talking about the one that came up with this. It's not your best work. This one's pretty easy, and it's not even a trick question. This one is Ethereum. Now, you're going to see out there, I've seen it before where people say that he also was a part of the Bitcoin team as well. I don't think that that's true, though. So maybe the elf is trying to throw in a little bit of like, oh, there was because I think the elf uses ChatGPT, which then just scours the internet, and false information can make its way into reports. Mm-hmm. So again,
If it for some reason is B, the factoid elf is just wrong. The answer is A, but I do want to clarify that there is that outside potential because there are rumors out there that he did stuff with Bitcoin as well.
Yeah.
So just gonna make sure we understand that. We had some old super chats coming in back in before TA. Army Piper, thank you again. He said Brosif. He really wants Brosif. Let me know in chat, guys. Do you guys want Brosif? This might be something we decide in like a Tuesday silver member bro time, but Brosif is definitely up there. That's got to be respected as one of the top names. He also said there is no crypto token called Ethereum. Oh, trick question. That's true. Well, is Ethereum a token? I had the same question a little bit ago because there's the definitions of tokens and coins. I think Ethereum.
They're interchangeable.
They're not. There's technically a definition of coin and token that separate them. Now, people use them interchangeably. We're getting into a lot of off-road comments here. Elliot Locke also gave a super chat saying, Gary has a shiny head, but T-Shroom has a sexy shiny head.
Thank you.
That's the distinction we've been looking for. Yes. LOL. T-Shroom, do AI TA. I saw where the top AI stock is kind of falling out of favor.
Microsoft or NVIDIA?
Probably NVIDIA, wouldn't it?
Probably NVIDIA. Yeah, I can do that.
We'll take a look at NVIDIA here later. Let's get into our Bitcoin TA, though. But of course, let's go ahead and share my screen. The TA is always brought to you guys by Chart Prime, the #1 indicator in the game. If you don't have it, you're the one losing. So if you want to use it, go check out our link down below. 45% off your first month or first quarter. The best deal you have out there. And again, I've said this before, but I'll make sure you guys know, one of the reasons why we use Chart Prime is not just because I think these indicators are phenomenal, but also I love the fact their attention is they want to help educate the space. So if you get the Chart Prime indicator and you get involved in their Discord, you get access to so much free education of not just how to use Chart Prime, but how to understand markets, how to understand fundamental TA. It's literally one of the best crypto companies in my personal opinion, and the indicator is the best. So it's just a great deal. Go check them out today. All right, we talked about this a little bit earlier, guys. Bitcoin is doing nothing over the last 48 hours. It's moving sideways, and yet Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index ticked back up this morning into neutral. To me, that's the beginning of the bad sign for Bitcoin. But let's take a look at some other reasons why I think that Bitcoin is possibly moving to the downside next. Now, I've talked about this before. Let's go out to the 4-hour chart and take a look at this. You guys know that I'm very big on, I'll make calls. I'll tell you where I think something's going, but I'll kind of let you know, hey, what are we looking out for to confirm it or deny it? We broke through the 27,000 that I asked for, but guess what never really happened? Yeah, there's a couple little spikes here, but we never really got any strong volume confirming the breakout. And while we momentarily kind of used 27,000 as resistance, it really wasn't strong or very long, and we ended up losing it. I told you guys, if we were able to get the high volume and if we were able to use 27,000 as strong support, that would be a great entry point to enter a long trade that maybe we see price shoot up towards 28,600 or 29,000. Well, guess what? That is not happening. In fact, we broke back down into this very boring zone that we'd been in since back on August 17th. And even though we have gotten a recent bullish flash here on the 4-hour chart, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. In fact, if you kind of look at this, and this does take a little bit of like speculating here and looking at the charts, but notice when we got this green triangle, where was the price closes at? And I know we have a wick all the way down here, but you got to realize these things flash. We like candle body closes when we're looking at this. The candle body closes we're looking at, we're up at 26.5, up at 26.6. And you're noticing very slightly our oscillators are moving sideways, but to the upside. Meanwhile, price action is moving sideways and to the downside. What is this meaning? This actually is a lot clearer when you go down to the hourly chart. Again, here you can make the good argument. Price is just trading dead sideways, but what are the oscillators doing? The oscillators are moving to the upside. This is a classic resetting to have a bigger move to the downside. We had somewhat bullish news from the Fed. We didn't raise interest rates. In fact, he kind of even, while he had certain comments that were a little hawkish and alluded to the possibility of an interest rate hike coming in the future, he also kind of alluded towards we're not really in danger of recession for pretty much 2 years. He even said that we might have to keep interest rates high, but right now we have a very strong economy, yada, yada, yada. you can decide whether he was telling the truth or not. The point stands, though, is that the way the market should have moved based off of his interview were bullish, and yet it did not do it. It moved to the downside. This, to me, is a very, very bad sign for Bitcoin. And then you pair this in with what we just talked about here a second ago. You talk about how the fact that we're more than likely going to see an appeal and more FUD come into the space, that Gary Gensler and the SEC are going to continue to kick the can down the road when it comes to the Grayscale ETF, which, by the way, was the main reason why we had this little boost over here back in August 29th. This was all the Grayscale winning their lawsuit against the SEC. And within a matter of a couple of days, I don't even think it took 2 days, we wiped out all of those gains. I think it's going to happen again, and I think the FUD is going to seem a little bit larger. I do not think we're going to be seeing a $29,000 Bitcoin anytime soon. I think we're moving to the downside first. Let me know in chat what you guys think, but that is my opinion. You're also going to see, I told you guys before, I thought maybe if we got a lot of bullish momentum, we could poke through this resistance wave here on the Market Oracle on Chart Prime, but we actually ended up just tipping into it, rejecting and moving to the downside. Now, 4-hour dynamic reactor, is still in play. We're still using as support, so that's kind of one of our last levels of hope. If there is hope for it to move to the upside, can we keep the dynamic reactor as bullish? But a rejection right there and a price moving to the downside while oscillators are moving to the upside, not a very good thing in my opinion whatsoever. So right now, as I'm looking at it, again, I'm not expecting a big drop right now. Like I wouldn't be like trying to predict or enter a short right now. I think there's a lot more information that's come out. We kind of have to watch how some things play out. But as it stands right now, we're not seeing this be an overly bullish thing. In fact, let's go back to something that we talked about a while ago. And to do this, we got to go out to the monthly chart. Let's take a look again. I got to go to a different chart here. And this is my timelines of 4-year cycle. Again, that's another reason, I've kind of been holding to this. You guys know, even when I was predicting or thinking that we might get to 29,000. By the way, shout out to Kelly Kellum, good friend of ours. Kelly, you got to come on soon. In fact, hit me up. We need to get you on next week or something. Going back to the monthly charts, though, when we get red Julys, it's not good. And in fact, I've been telling you guys, even when I thought we would hit 29,000, maybe 28.6, I still thought we'd reject and head down and have a bad October. End of October would really be where the bottom of the space is. Well, let's take a look again, ladies and gentlemen, at what happens when we have red Julys. Let's come back and find them. Got to kind of go through here. We got a green one right there. Where's the red July? There we go. 2019. That's funny, actually, this one. And you guys remember the reason why it's a little bit different here is because we don't have a perfect 4-year cycle. It's more like a 3-year, 11-month cycle. Red July, red August, then we had a big red September, and then a green October, and then a red November. So you might be saying right off the bat right there, like, oh, Tim, look, 2019, October was green. Shouldn't we have a green October? No. While COVID ended up giving us a lower low, COVID was a black swan event. If COVID had never happened, the low would have been November of 2019. The significance of that is because we're talking about a 4-year cycle that's really a 3-year, 11-month cycle. Guess what that means? That means the low for this year of this pullback before a bull market should be October of 2023. That continues to back it up. There's really only, and we went through here before, and I changed all my settings, so excuse me, guys. I don't have them right off the bat. But there's only one time in history, and I believe it's right. Nope, that's not it either. Man, where is it? There's one time we get a red July, and then we got a red August, but then everything else was green. For the most part, I'm going to have to move away from this, and you guys just have to trust me. Go back and do your back analysis, though. Every time we have a red July, say for one example, the next couple of months are bearish. And even if September technically closes in the green, which it's on track to do, but there's still about a week and some change left. In fact, I think it's exactly, if today's the 23rd, we exactly have a week left of September. More than likely, there's a chance that this could end up turning red. We end up getting a red September and a red October. But then be of good cheer, because I do think November will be a green month. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it at this point. Let me know in chat what you guys think. Let's take a look at some other coins, though. Let's take a look at Link. Of course, Link was one of the coins that is up today, especially on the news of their partnership with Arbitrum, working with Arbitrum. Of course, that didn't benefit Arbitrum, though. They're down. Let's take a look at the daily chart because we haven't looked at Chainlink in a little bit. Ooh, not a great start. Not a great start to what we're looking at here because you guys are seeing on the daily chart, we are very overextended to the upside. RSI kind of peaking up here towards 82. We got our overbought with red reversal triangle coming in here at the very top right there. So that is a bad sign. In fact, it's not printing this way, but that's very clear bearish divergence as well. Look at this peak right here, of course. I guess I want to see this red candle move to the downside and confirm this, but right now we're definitely forming some bearish divergence with price tops going to the downside. Meanwhile, our price tops on the RSI are moving to the upside. Classic bearish divergence. I will say I'm very bullish on Chainlink long term. In fact, this is going to be a good opportunity for me. I want this dip to come back in because while I do hold some Chainlink, I don't hold enough. And I think Chainlink is going to be one of the coins of this bull market that could have some really explosive upside with what it does with interoperability. However, don't be surprised if we do see a move to the downside. One of the reasons why is we've been trading sideways in Chainlink since May of 2022. And for the most part, this is how you know the market's not ready to do anything yet. Almost every single strong bearish and every single strong bullish indicator has been a great signal to do things. Now, that's good for traders. I'll tell you this right now. If you want to trade, these signals have been phenomenal for trading. In fact, I wonder if you pull up the Market Oracle Pro, it hasn't helped too much. But yeah, using the waves, using the reversals that come in here. If you are making money trading Bitcoin, you definitely could be making money trading Chainlink right now. Watch, and I would think this would be golden opportunity. I think it's going to happen again. I think the whole crypto space is going to dip. I don't know why I took down volume. Watch for another purchase in this bottom support zone. I don't know if we're going to be able to rematch what we did back here in June and come all the way back down to $4.76. But I would not be surprised to see us revisit at least $5.69, maybe drop a little bit lower into this box. But this, you guys can see again, since May or June of 2022 has been phenomenal. All the way down here, these levels around 524, all the way up to about 963 have been great. Anytime you can purchase Chainlink at these levels, you are getting a great buying opportunity. Piper says, stretch that T-box. I did. I stretched the T-box. I think you're talking about my Chainlink T-box. I stretched it out because, yeah, it looks like we got a little bit longer in this box before we get some real breakout of Chainlink. But you guys know I'm a big believer in Chainlink. Again, I don't have enough of it, and I do think what I'm looking at here on the charts, daily chart, golden opportunity is coming. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart and see. Piper says the whole stock market's about to dip too. I agree, Piper. I'm kind of in that boat. We're not seeing a reversal right now on the 4-hour chart necessarily. We're definitely getting close to where I think we're going to trigger it. You guys can even see 4-hour chart. I'm not going to draw it. Bearish divergence. Look at those peaks right there. What are you doing right there? Peaks are getting lower while the price peaks are getting higher. That's bearish divergence. I would not, even though like the daily chart's telling us it's time to reverse, 4 hours not screaming it yet, but I do think the time is coming. Let's take a look at our Oracle Pro. Yeah, we're sitting in this red. We already came up and turned this wave purple once, and so that's kind of why we're revisiting it, but I think we're going to lose that momentum, make a good move to the downside, and that kind of backs up what we're talking about recently. With Bitcoin going down, you guys alts are going to keep going down. Why is that? We covered this yesterday, but I'll take a quick look at it. Bitcoin dominance continuing to move to the upside, not overextended. Bitcoin dominance, in fact, guys, here on the 4-hour chart, just got a reversal flash, a bullish flash to the upside. RSI got low. Let's see what the daily chart is saying. It is moving towards the upside. Let's see. Got a peak seeker came in here. So daily chart, not necessarily the most bullish. I want to see how this kind of plays out, though, because, again, with the expectation that this is more bullish right now, you are going to see – I want to sit here and wait, but you are going to see bearish indicators get ignored during a season of bullish push to the upside.
Got
and while I'm not
chats,
seeing that
Tim.
Yeah, I see them. We're going to talk about them here in a second. While I'm not seeing bullish momentum in Bitcoin and altcoins, this chart right here, BTC.D, Bitcoin dominance, I do think there's a bullish push to the upside here. Look at that. We have room to go before we get overextended to the upside. Let's read some chat here. Elliot Locke says Ben Cowan is talking about how Bitcoin and most other coins have been down and to the right when Link has been stagnant. Yep, that's absolutely true. Again, Ben Cowan and I actually agree on most things. We just have different levels of severity, but I agree with a lot of what he says. Piper says, ouch, but I don't know why you said ouch. Oh, well, are you saying ouch because you and Ben Cowan aren't friends? Listen, Piper, this is a season for peace and for friendship. Make it right with Ben Cowan. I'll talk to him. I'll tell him to unblock you. Don't say mean things to him anymore. You listen, you, Eric Wallen, and CryptoSec guy, sometimes you just say mean things on the internet.
It's true.
And stop saying mean things, and people won't block you as much. But I still love you. And I'll never block you. He said, look at the RSI primed on Heikinashi monthly Bitcoin. Let's do it. Let's do it. For those of you guys who don't know, Heikinashi changes how candles are. Let's go to Bitcoin. Let's go to the monthly chart. I'm going to keep this normal. I'm going to clean. Nope, that's not clean either. Let's go to a clean chart for Bitcoin so it's not as crazy. I don't think I have anything. Let's just delete all this. I don't need any of this on Kraken.
Candles are usually one way. Heikinashi changes that.
Heikinashi is more of a momentum candle analysis. So even right there, you guys can see this is normal candles. This green candles means the candle closed higher than it opened. Red candles means it closed lower than it opened. When you change it to Heikinashi, it's very different and can look confusing, but this is telling you the momentum. So great call here. I can tell you right there, again, peaked in July, but that was a red candle. When I flip back, boom, red candle. But I move it to Heikinashi. It turns green. That was the end of the bullish momentum, and now we've started a little bit of a trend to the downside. Let's pull up the RSI primed as he's talking about. RSI primed, same thing. We turned on the Heikinashi, so it is doing the same exact thing. Let me know, Piper, exactly what you want me to observe here other than that, but that's the biggest thing I'm seeing here that Piper's pointing out and telling us to look at is when looking at Heikinashi, which is a momentum wave candle analysis, we are absolutely in a bearish trend, bearish push. The trend is your friend until it ends. And again, in my opinion, that trend doesn't end until October. I fully expect October. I think September's, of course, going to close red in Heikinashi, even if it doesn't close red on regular. I think October's going to close red. And don't be surprised if, even though November will be red or green in the normal chart, it'll be red on here, but then December will be a green candle and we'll start a new push to the upside with Heikinashi. That's how I'm kind of seeing that play out right there. Yeah, let's do it. All right, that is going to be the TA for today. It's 11:37. Let's get our answer to the Factoid Elves trivia question. The rest of you guys, while we're doing that, smash that like button. If you guys are loving this Saturday stream, let's see here. Piper said, yep, we don't typically have a small Heikinashi trend. This is just starting. Yeah, I think it's we don't typically, but there are times where it's short. Okay, go back here. Remember what I said. Let's go back to the screen real quick, T-Shroom.
Already there.
So remember, I'm comparing this very heavily to 2019. I think we're a very similar boat right here, right? How many red candles is that? 4. This is 2019 right here. We had September, October, November, December were red. What did I just tell you? I think August was red. September's red. I think October's going to be red. And I think November's red. That's 4 months. That would be a repeat Heikinashi of what happened in 2019. And of course, the only reason why all of these aren't green is because of this one right here in March where COVID came into play. It ruined it. It ruined it for us. So unless we get a new Black Swan event, that should actually be some more green as we move into an actual bull market. Good there. We got 2 more super chats here. Piper, CryptoSec guy, and Eric Wallen just need a spanking. Careful though, they might like it. Elliot Locke says, and Elliot, your fears might be correct. I don't want to spank them whatsoever. Army Piper said, love you too, Eric. Of course, everyone loves Eric. All right, let's move in. What's the answer to our trivia question? We can go back to Brocam, T-Shroom.
Yeah, well, before we even get to Brocam, have you guys ever paid taxes and left the experience thinking, man, I wish I never had to be so stressed out? Or work with H&R. Those people at H&R don't seem like they know what they're talking about. Well,
they also suck.
And they don't know what crypto is. You go to H&R Block, right? You go to TurboTax, you say, hey, crypto. As soon as you say crypto, they're choking on their coffee. They were taking a sip of crypto, not another crypto guy. Well, don't put all of your worries at ease because there is a new service provider in town, and we're bringing him to you. We know him. We love him. His name's Ernest, and his company is Decrypted.tax. You go check it out. You check out their services. It's a lot of fun. And well, I wouldn't say it's fun, but it's easy. It's easier than having to deal with it yourself or deal with maybe some of the other tax solutions. And right now you get 25% off if you click on the link in our description. Now, guys, you might be thinking, taxes? I'm not thinking about taxes. It's September. Well, the sooner you set up the relationship with Ernest, the better you're going to be, because he can tell you what documents you need to go ahead and get in order, and if you're going to be totally screwed for the new year. Just kidding. You'll be fine. So let's go ahead and check out the factoid answer. But guys, definitely you'll be supporting the channel if you use decrypted.tax. Go check it out. 25% off. Link in the description. That's decrypted.tax. Tell Ernest we sent you. I never read the quote of the day. So with a little bit more delay here, there was nothing like a Saturday unless it was the Saturday leading up to the last week of school and into summer vacation. That, of course, was all of the Saturdays of your life rolled into one big, shiny ball. What other blockchain did Charles Hoskinson found? Was it C, Cosmos, B, Bitcoin, Sheeb, or Ethereum? The answer
from the bottom up that time
is Ethereum.
Yeah.
Now, you might not have known. Tim knew that because Tim is just one of the smarter guys that is walking the earth these days. But you may not have known that. You may be dumb as bricks watching this. You're probably not, but you might be. You may not have known that. Charles Hoskinson, born 1987 or 88. That's weird.
That is a weird fact. That sounds like a new fact for the factoid elf.
There he is. Look at him. He's feeling a little hawkish in this picture.
Oh my goodness.
But it says he's an American entrepreneur who is a co-founder of the blockchain engineering company In and Out Global, incorporated, formerly IOHK, and the Cardano blockchain platform, and was a co-founder of the Ethereum blockchain, which is the answer to today's factoid. Who had some fun with that factoid? I know I did, Tim.
Yeah. You want to hear another factoid?
What you got?
I don't communicate with the factoid elf, even though he claims in chat that I text him. I don't have his number, so that's a false accusation. Factoid elf time, though. Mr. Charles Hoskinson, while he was learning and integrating Cardano and using blockchain technology to build it, lived in the good old city of Blacksburg. What is Blacksburg, you might ask? That is home of the greatest sucky football team in the world, the Virginia Tech Hokies.
Yeah. It's almost like the perfect town to come up with the greatest idea of all time.
It is. Amen. Yeah. That is a very good observation. And I'm glad I agree with you there, because I disagreed with your quote of the day, which, could you go back to it for a second?
I can.
You see, this is not true. First of all, part of the reason why it's not true for me is I was homeschooled, so that's not really a big thing. And I did school in the summer all the time because I graduated. By the way, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I did graduate high school at 15 years old because I was homeschooled, so you could accelerate and do whatever you want and stuff. It did suck for college, though, when I hadn't really done much schooling for like 3 years, and so I definitely had to get back into it once I got to college. But I literally graduated at 15 years old and was working full time while still getting to play like high school sports and stuff. But I'd done everything I needed to graduate. Should have done more college. That was on me. Should have done it when I was 15, but you know, you live and you learn.
Well, Piper
the best Saturday feelings in the world are college football Saturdays. So it's not when school gets out; it's when school gets back in that Saturday gets fun.
Yeah, I think you kind of had to tap into your youth to be able to relate to this one. But Nora Roberts, she's got something going on here. We don't know if it's truth, but it's resonating with the youth. Piper also said the best Saturday he ever had was the first Saturday of being retired. You like that one, Tim?
That misread almost got really bad.
We're having fun.
Retired.
It's all funny.
Very big. It's one sound, one syllable sound, but it changes quite a lot.
It does. All right.
Let's do this. Let's get back into crypto. The best Saturday is today because of this show. Is honestly the best Saturday. This is not that the weekday shows are not fun too, but I definitely think that our Saturday shows have been the funnest shows to shoot.
Yeah, there's just an extra bit of whimsy, a little bit extra fun.
Yeah.
So that's always really, really good. on here on Saturday. Let's check it out. Let's get into some of the stories here. Coinbase. It's some information coming out on Coinbase here that they hold 25 billion worth of Bitcoin. What? Which makes them become the largest holder with 1 million BTC. Ronaldo Marquez seems to think so. 16 hours ago. Let's see some of the details that maybe we could shed some light on this claim. Arkham Intelligence Comprehensive Analysis has successfully tagged over 36 million Bitcoin deposits and holding addresses associated with Coinbase. That's a lot. Somebody did a ton of work. That's insane.
Yeah.
Hopefully they were using some kind of computational capabilities, not just doing that by hand. But remarkably, Coinbase's largest cold wallet alone contains around 10,000 Bitcoin. That's a lot of Bitcoin, serving as a testament to the scale of their holdings. However, Arkham Intelligence suggests that Coinbase's actual Bitcoin reserves may extend beyond the identified addresses. So even more than that, based on Coinbase's recent financial reports, it is highly likely that the exchange possesses thousands more BTC that have yet to be tracked and labeled. Moreover, Arkham Intelligence platform reveals that Coinbase holds substantial amounts of other cryptocurrencies beyond Bitcoin. Now, this is getting slightly less interesting, but it's worth noting. They've got a lot of Link, a lot of ETH, and they've also got a lot of BNB. So, Tim, does this mean anything other than Brian Armstrong is big balling out and his company is killing it? Or is there something maybe a little bit more sinister going on that we should be worried about?
The first thing,
and when you say the answer to this question, I want you to give it to me straight
instead of crooked. Yes, I will do that. First of all, we have
Tim. Whenever you answer this question, I want you to give it to me in English.
All right. We got 2 super chats we're going to read in just a second, but I'm going to answer first, and then we'll read those. Coinbase at one point, let's not forget, I want people to remember this. At one point, there was actually very real concern that Coinbase was struggling. They were laying off a lot of people. There was a lot of concern that maybe they had not been using their funds correctly. There wasn't evidence necessarily, but there were rumors and concerns. Do you guys remember what happened that caused us not to worry about Coinbase whatsoever anymore?
I do, Tim.
What was it, T-Shroom?
It was a partnership with a big rich uncle that kind of came out of nowhere, and it's almost like if you had an uncle that was also the largest asset under management bank in the world called BlackRock.
T-Shroom, you are as smart as you are shiny. Have you ever heard that before?
Man, every day. I mean, yeah.
No, 100%. Okay. They were in trouble, and then BlackRock came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, Coinbase wasn't in trouble. And Coinbase is going to be utilized as the holder of the BlackRock money for their ETFs. And not just BlackRock, by the way, almost, I don't know exactly which ones do and don't, but a lot of the different Bitcoin ETF filings filed Coinbase as their holder. They're going to be the ones holding this Bitcoin. So this is what I don't know the answer to this question. Is this actually Coinbase? Like, Arkham Invest is also very weird. You don't know fully if you can trust Arkham with what they're reporting necessarily. But if they are reporting this, are we talking about, is this Brian Armstrong and Coinbase's personal ownership of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all these other things? Or is this taking into account the Bitcoin they are holding for the BlackRock ETF and the Fidelity ETF and the ARK Invest ETF? And, that's what when I saw this, I was like, okay, I think we are seeing the evidence put into place of exactly what we're talking about, guys. Right now, BlackRock, Fidelity, and others are stockpiling Bitcoin because they want this ETF to be successful. And that's great. And that means price go up, right? Good thing. But how are they going to stockpile it? And how do they get more of it? Price manipulation. And the more of it they get, the more of it they get to manipulate. So it's one of those things to listen to. And when you hear this, you're like, okay, I think we are seeing the evidence of how much BlackRock is actually getting into. I don't know how much. Again, I don't even know for certain if it's BlackRock's money. But to me, it doesn't make sense that that's Coinbase's money, right? That doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense to me if this is including BlackRock's money. And that's a lot of Bitcoin. and that's a lot of Ethereum, that's a lot of other altcoins, that makes me think that they are stockpiling right now and continues to make me firmly believe manipulation is not done. Do not be surprised to see maybe even them sell some of this, but them to help get reports out there to help FUD the market so that the price will dip down towards 20,000, right below 20,000. They can buy billions more, and I think they will buy billions more because they know they're never going to get a sweet opportunity to buy Bitcoin below 20,000 ever again, and they are not stupid. They're going to take advantage of it. I think we could still have a very bullish Bitcoin bull market. I know there's people out there that think because of BlackRock and institutions, we might not have a bullish Bitcoin market, a Bitcoin bullish bull market. Whatever. That's a valid thought. Whenever you get institutions in, they like things to be stable. They don't want things to be chaotic. Whenever you have massive pumps to the upside, a lot of times there's big drop-offs. But if they know how to time it and they can control it, again, if BlackRock can be the one that controls when Bitcoin jumps by 30% a day and drops by 30% a day, rest assured they will take full advantage of it. That is just part of the game. You got to know how to think the way that they think. So to me, T-Shroom, this is kind of confirmation of what we've been talking about on this channel now for months. Let's see how this all plays out. Let's read these super chats real quick. We have 3 of them now. Love it. This is more hot topics for us to bring up here. Mr. J said, Tim, strong feeling. Do you pour your cereal before your milk or your milk before your cereal? Let me start by asking, what do you think that I do, chat? T-Shroom, if you had to predict how I eat my cereal, what would it be?
Milk first.
Okay, you're retired.
Dang.
No. It's a trick question, really. I have not eaten a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, neither have I.
In probably over a year. It is funny. The other night I told Taylor. Taylor was going to the store. She's like, what do you want? She was going to go to the store. She didn't end up going. But she's like, what do you want me to get? And I was like, you know what I haven't had in a long time? A good old bowl of cereal. But then she didn't go to the store, so I still don't have any cereal.
I don't miss it. I haven't had it in a while. I don't miss it.
Yeah, I like meat. I like savory things, and cereal is not really that, Yeah. Someone asked the other day, I think Gia said something about ice cream. She asked on Twitter, she's like, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? And I'm like, I'm not really a dessert person, but if I had to choose, good old Oreo ice cream.
Maybe if there could be like a bacon cereal, that'd be kind of interesting to explore.
I don't think so. No. Bacon's usually good on things, and I'm not going to say it's disgusting, spit out of your mouth, gross, but I don't think I would eat a bacon cereal. But I do when I eat cereal, and if I ever eat cereal ever again, absolutely, you pour the cereal first. Because the milk is there to really, make sure it's not just dry and gives it flavor.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do too much and drown it and get soggy. So you have no idea how much milk you need until you can see how much cereal you have in your bowl. In fact, I have a good ratio in my brain. When I pour my cereal, I put my cereal in the bowl, and then milk fills 75% of the way up to the top of the pile of cereal. And then you just use your spoon and you stir it and you get everything wet with the milk. But if you go milk first of all, a lot of the cereal floats, and that's a pain in the butt. And then you really don't know if you got enough milk or too much milk or what. So, yeah, you got to go cereal first and then milk. Mr. Army Piper says, Mr. J, if you pour the milk first, you are wrong. Amen. That is true. Elliot Locke brought another super chat talking about college football. Said Mississippi versus Carolina. Break it down, Tim. T-Shroom. Don't forget about the AITA, Mr. Sexy Shiny Headman. Yeah, we'll do that here in just a second. We might not be able to cover a whole bunch of stories.
I've got it queued up for you, baby.
Mississippi. It's not Ole Miss versus Carolina. So is Mississippi State? You know what, T-Shroom? You do the TA. I'm going to look that up.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start here on the weekly for NVIDIA. As you can see, it's had a giant move to the upside since October of last year. So around this time, it's at a 355% skyrocket, right? But now since the top of those wicks, it's at a drawdown with the rest of the NASDAQ. If by what in the heck? I guess I got to zoom in a little bit more here.
Yeah.
It's at a nice little drawdown of about 20%. So that's actually pretty significant. And as you can see here on the weekly, it has come down and really is testing this midline of the Bollinger Band, right? It's also testing this blue line here from the Market Dynamics Pro. But ultimately, will it find support here? I don't know. We shall see. Another AI name that has actually sliced through the midline Bollinger Band and gone down to this uptrending line of support is C3.ai, which it does not do the same thing at all that NVIDIA does. But it's AI. It's an AI narrative. If you take a look at Microsoft, which is another big AI name, we'll take a look at Google too. You can see the Bollinger Bands have constricted, right? But it has gone ahead and it tested through the Bollinger Bands again on the weekly, and then was able to break back through it. But now it has given up that Bollinger Band and a big red candlestick again, along with the rest of the Nasdaq. Taking a look at Google, what do you notice? It hasn't broken down through the midline of the Bollinger Band at all. A lot of strength in that name, guys. I'm holding it, and I'm buying the dips for old Goog, old alphabet soup. You got to love it. Let's take a look here at the NASDAQ just for reference. A lot more names, a lot more narratives outside of AI in the NASDAQ. But as you can see, kind of taking that same path that Microsoft is. After all, it makes sense. Microsoft is the top-weighted company in all three indexes. But let's look at Apple before we get too far ahead. I know this is getting out of the AI narrative, but you can see here, kind of had a similar move that Microsoft did. But Apple has a big thing going against them, a big headwind, which is that they basically can't sell iPhones to government workers of the China anymore, CCP, which is no bueno for old Tim Cook over there. So let's drill in a little bit more on NVIDIA here. We were on the weekly. We've got a good context for the AI space in general. Let's take a look at the 4-hour for NVIDIA, see if there's any kind of tools jumping out us telling to buy or sell or hold. Well, right off the bat on the 4-hour, you can see we've just bounced out of the discount zone, did not really go into it. We did back here in August 14th, but as of now, we were able to bounce off of that discount zone from Chart Prime and did not penetrate through. So I'd say that's pretty bullish. I think what's going on here overall is that it's kind of a reload phase for NVIDIA. I think it's gotten overbought, obviously, right? I think the market's trying to assess just how low can NVIDIA go. It's putting in a higher low right now, a multi-month higher low. So if it can keep this up and maintain this low, honestly, that's not just bullish for the AI narrative and for NVIDIA, that's bullish for the NASDAQ, right? That's bullish for the markets across the board. Maybe not so much the Dow, but it's pretty bullish. Taking a look at its number one competitor AMD, you see a totally different chart pattern that I'm not going to break down too much. But to answer your question overall, the AI narrative is strong. It's not going away. There's crypto names, AGIX and FET.ai. I would say this is a good time to buy NVIDIA. I've been looking at it. It's again, that lower high is pretty compelling, and it's like is the AI narrative going away? No, I don't think though. I think it's only getting stronger as Google and Microsoft continue to duke it out. Right, they're going to have to be able to buy chips, and who makes the chips? Well, it's NVIDIA. It's also ARM. But that's a whole nother thing. ARM.
Yeah, Tim, I still think, well, share my screen real quick, and then I have two different ones. But on NVIDIA, I told you guys before, I'm very bullish on NVIDIA long term, but I'm not going to be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, to see it come down here at least at 346, because that's a previous high right here. We kind of blasted through. There's a gap. There's a gap that comes all the way down to about 307. I don't know if I'm waiting for 307 to buy necessarily, because gaps don't always have to fill, but I think there's a lot of things kind of pulling it back down towards this gap. 345 looks very interesting to me, hitting a former high, and then again, if you want to go a little lower, 305 or so, very interesting. I'm about to answer the question. Go back to Brocam here real quick. About to answer the question for Elliot Locke about football, because we're about to talk about some football. There's a couple other stories we were going to talk about, T-Shroom. Let's save them till Monday. They're not like timely stories. They're more like evergreen stories. Piper just said, Tim, ask what people think about Piper's Academy for a channel name. All right, so this is good. I wanted to ask this earlier, Piper. I didn't know if we wanted to make this public news or not, so I wanted to respect your privacy and not say anything. But I'm very, very, very excited, you guys. First of all, Piper has been in retirement, been enjoying it, but he's ready to come out of retirement. Now, he is definitely still he will always be a bro to me. He's always going to be one of the bros. He's always going to be in our Discord and coming to stream, and he's welcome anytime on the stream. But he's actually be starting his own channel, pretty much talking about education, helping do specifically education on trading, education on Chart Prime. He's going to cover a lot of macroeconomic stuff as well. He's thinking at this point he wants to start doing a live show at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be 8:30 for him, but 10:30 Eastern Standard Time in the mornings during the weekdays. You guys love Piper. I love Piper. Make sure that when his channel gets up, you guys go subscribe, watch him. I know a lot of people who are saying, oh, what are we going to do for morning shows now that the bros aren't doing a live morning show? Well, guess what? The Piper Show. Now, what he just asked in the Super Chat is, what should this channel be named? Him and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I'm a fan of Piper's Academy. That's my thought. But what do you guys think if Piper starts a new YouTube channel? What should the name of his channel be? Do you like Piper's Academy? Do you have other suggestions? Let me know in the chat what you guys think. And that's going to be, I am super, super excited for that channel. Super excited for Piper. You're going to see a lot of us on his channel, a lot of him on our channel. Piper and I talked yesterday. We actually have a lot of thoughts about what this could mean moving forward. But let us know. Piper's Profit, says Indie Rock Crypto.
Piper's Profit.
Price action, good. Piper. Yeah, Piper's Profits.
I was thinking something with Wix. Something Wix. Piper's. I don't know. I don't know if it fits, but nobody's done anything with Wix. And Wix is a very coming at you, grabbing you, giving you a hug kind of word.
Seems aggressive the way you just said that, though.
Yeah. Well, that's Piper. Piper's aggressive. He's aggressive in the
charts.
Fair point.
That's a very fair point.
And on Twitter, he's aggressive. Too.
Piper's Profits. Pay the Pipers at Eric Wallen. That's funny. I don't know if that's the name for
Piper's
the channel.
Profits. Yeah. Piper's Profits not bad.
Piper's Profits. I like Piper's Profits. Yeah. Well, yeah, continue to let us know. Again, while he gets it all going, you guys definitely
the Piper pitch.
Go show him support and also let us know what you guys think about that. Let's transition, T-Shirts. We're wrapping up. So just so you guys know, I'm sitting here.
The retired trader.
The Virginia Tech game has started. We're playing Marshall today, and I'm going to predict a Virginia Tech win, and I also predict that I'm going to get heartbroken by that prediction. But I'm going to predict other people's teams. For anyone else who's watching college football, what's up, Brian D? Happy Saturday. Go ahead and share my screen. I put this. This is one of the things you guys get. We talk a lot of crypto. We talk about a lot of life. But we also have a channel over in our Discord. Free Discord. We have a sports talk. I put all my predictions for the big college football games this week. But I do have to talk first before I jump into this. You want me to scroll this over, T-shirt?
No, I got it.
Okay, you got it. Elliot Locke asked, what are my thoughts about the Mississippi State versus South Carolina game? Elliot Locke, you'll be a happy man. I have not seen anything from Mississippi State for me to think that they are going to be everything they could be. They got pretty much destroyed by LSU versus South Carolina. Actually put up after losing to North Carolina, I was very disappointed, but that was the first game of the season. The way that South Carolina played against Georgia gives me some hope that I think South Carolina pulls out a W today. That is what I'm expecting for that game. Where it comes to the other ones, big games here, guys. Michigan will be playing Rutgers. Of course, Rutgers beat my Hokies last week. The Rutgers are a better team than people think, but Michigan still wins here. But I think Rutgers will cover the spread. FSU will definitely beat Clemson. I'm thinking probably by 14 or so. Let's see. Oklahoma will beat Cincy, and Oklahoma will cover that spread. Oregon will beat Colorado. But, Colorado, one of the most interesting stories of this college football season. But they're losing to Oregon today, guys. That's not gonna go well for them. But I do think they cover a spread. The spread's like 20 points or something. I take those points. I take Colorado with the points easy. But Oregon wins the game. Matt C, I think, left, but I think that UCLA stuns Utah. This is one of my upset picks of the day. I think UCLA will beat Utah. I think it's just a letdown game for Utah. Ole Miss will stun Bama. I think Bama is kind of reeling right now. They haven't figured out their quarterback situation. Virginia Tech just got a first down. There we go. Love it. But I think that we see an Ole Miss stunning Alabama. That's my second upset that I'm predicting. Duke will destroy UConn. Miami destroys Temple. Tennessee will destroy UTSA. These aren't really close. LSU will not only beat Arkansas, they'll cover the spread. Oregon State will beat Washington State University. I'm not going to even talk about the spread. I think it's going to be a close game, but I do think Oregon State will win that game. Let's see what else. UF will destroy Charlotte. Not close. UGA, that's Georgia, will beat UAB. Texas destroys Baylor. Here's my next upset. Notre Dame will beat Ohio State University. Ohio State's offense, which is usually pretty good, and yes, they have some weapons. I don't think they're going to be able to take Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame wins this game. I think it's going to be a good game, high scoring, but Notre Dame outscores them. Penn State will beat Iowa, but Iowa will cover the spread. Iowa's defense is good. I think they're able to keep it close.
Yeah, they've got a good defense this year.
I know you have no idea what you're talking about, but thank you for that. Thank you for that insight. UNC will beat Pitt. USC will destroy Arizona State. Washington will beat Cal, but Cal will cover the spread. Elliot Locke says no, heck no, Colorado by 7. All right, man, you're a Prime believer. And listen, Prime is good. Prime. Oh, by the way, Virginia Tech just got another first down. We're driving. We're about to be in the red zone. Go Hokies. Prime is good, but he needs more time. Oh, Virginia Tech just scored a touchdown. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're already up. Virginia Tech just scored a touchdown. Drones is the future, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Watch out for Virginia Tech they're going to be the number 1 sucky team in the country easily. Easily. We get to 5 wins this year. That being said, though, yeah, that's my college football predictions for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys are college football fans, what you're liking, what you're not liking of my predictions. But with that said, T-Shroom, I'm gonna need to go here in a second, pay more attention to my Hokies. But this has been an absolutely fantastically fun show. I really hope the people that watched it live and the people that are going to watch it back agree with that. But even if they don't, I had a lot of fun. I'm really loving these Saturday shows. And of course, you guys know, with us moving to afternoons now instead of doing morning shows, there's going to be a couple of you that maybe can't catch us live anymore. We're still going to be putting out 9 o'clock information. We talked about this as we're kind of wrapping up today. What is happening in the background? Are you watching football?
Trying to get us banned.
There we go. That's how you do it right there. That's copyright music. YouTube, please don't do that. Please don't do that. No, for 9 a.m.s, I'm going to be coming to the office early. T-Shroom's going to be waking up early. We're going to be putting out morning content videos, kind of letting you guys know. Please, I don't think we can monetize.
Just keep talking. I'm not going to get
monetize this video now.
I'm not going to get it banned. No, it's less than 7 seconds, Tim.
But anyway, so we're still going to put out all the breaking news, take a quick look at charts. We're looking at 12 to 15 minute long videos every single morning at 9 a.m. and then live shows at 4 o'clock. But Saturdays, 11 o'clock, you guys can always make this one nice and easily. We're a family-friendly show. Bring in the kids, bring in the wife. For Gia, bring in the husband. For other women watching, bring in the husbands. We are a family-friendly show. Everyone's a bro. With that said, though, we love each and every single last one of you. T-Shroom has a closing thought as well.
Crypto Trades is back. He was doing some stuff in Texas. I think it was some kind of a retreat, but he's back. He was in the chat. We kind of missed him. Hopefully he's
I thought you were going to say that he could bring his husband as well.
Oh, man. That might have been too far, Tim. Yeah. I think if anybody was going to be able to absorb that kind of a comment, it would be Crypto Trades.
Crypto Trades is it. Listen, we love every single last one of you guys. Again, the other thing is, if you guys want to keep hanging out and talking, the conversation never stops in our Discord. It's a free level. There are paid levels. Make sure you're in there one way or the other. With that said, that is all we have for you today on our fantastic Saturday show. You guys have a fantastic weekend. See you guys Monday. Go Hokies! Make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper. Turn that better to cake. Money like Lego. Connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.